Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the quick update over at the Battle of Bakhmut. So this is Bakhmut City, and the front line is currently, as per the latest information, the front line is actually now looks like this. And so the Ukrainians actually have their final stronghold. This is actually what I also call the citadel, the final keep, the final stronghold of humankind, over at these high building areas, those high-rise building areas. And there is some changes. So in the northern part, the previous line actually was here, and the Russian forces have actually pushed further forward and continue to do this closing up of this front line against the high-rise buildings. So this information comes from Surya maps. As you can see that there is advance in the northwestern axis. Basically is this area here. All these changes, all this front line is not acknowledged by the pro-Ukrainian source. The pro-Ukrainian source, Deep State UA, is still mapping it in this way. Maybe trying to keep the morale high, because or they are just waiting for undisputed evidence like videos to come out of the changes in the front line. And in the southern side of the citadel, there is also some progress. The Russian forces have crossed over the Chajkovskogo Street, and they have kind of have a foothold on the opposite side, according to the information coming out from Surya maps. First, they mentioned that the troops are trying to troops cross over the road and are trying to fight over there. And by the later of the day, they actually say that they managed to take control of the first buildings on the other side of the roads. So this is another breakthrough. And the pro-Russians sources are trying to say that the Russians push in this area is trying to break the Ukrainian forces into a half. So there is this one side of the forces, the Ukrainian forces at this area here. This is one part, and there's another group in the south. So they are trying to say that the Russian forces are trying to break and cut this force into two, causing the Ukrainians to unable to support one another or to actually communicate or travel across one another. So this is currently is happening. Maybe there is some truth to it, maybe some use strategic point to it, because the Ukrainians continue to reinforce strongly in this area here, as they still continue to hold this very strong southwest position. And there is some high-rise building here. This allows them to have a very strong position. And with the Russian forces cut through in the northern part of this area here in the southwest, this allow the Ukrainians to continue to reinforce into the citadel area. So they have no choice. So this might actually be the point of it. Although with the Russians holding this position, I don't think the Ukrainians can even cross through. Maybe they can cross from the rear. Maybe that is the reason why the Russians are actually trying to take control of this area here, so that the Ukrainians are unable to cross over to the other side, even from the further roads. So Surya maps actually call this place the Cherama district. So maybe this is the official name, because I cannot really find these district names on Google Maps, so I'm not so familiar. So this is what I call the citadel area. I'll just continue to call that. Fighting is ongoing over here, with the Russians starting to attack into the citadel area for the first time. But the fighting is still ongoing. They have not have a foothold yet, not yet. And then fighting also mentioned along the Levanevskogo Street, and also at the Oborony Street, with the push in the north here reaching this point. And so with this push here, it looks like the Ukrainians' positions in the north here might be in a bit of a danger, because if this force continue to push through, they can actually flank up north and then encircle the force here. So this force may have to pull back. There are some rumors of the Ukrainians planning to pull back to a final line I'm not too sure how true is that. This just information from the pro-Russian side. So that's all from the fighting within the city. Outside of the city, there is bombardment at Kromove, and the Russian forces is attacking Kromove. They're still attacking there, and further away there is some Ukrainian counter-offensive. So the Ukrainians actually did a major counter-offensive, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, on the 29th report, with the Ukrainians attacking from Kalinina and from Chasivia, as well as from Ivanivsky. So however, this counter-offensive is not mentioned on the 30th, on the next day. So which means the past 24 hours. So I believe these have not worked out for the Ukrainians, because the counter-offensive is not sustained, and so otherwise the Russians bombarded Bodanivka as well, and fighting is reported on the 30th, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And there, if you go even further out in Greater Bakhmut, you do see that the Ukrainian Defense Ministry actually reported there's fighting reported towards Potashene, towards Alexandro-Shutine, and also further up in the north, fighting towards Minkivka. This is not mentioned by the pro-Russian side. So do take that with a pinch of salt. Maybe it might be a bombardment. It might not actually be an offensive. But if it is, then this is unlikely to be the work of the Wagner forces. Is probably the airborne forces, where they are trying to continue to draw out Ukrainian forces away from Bakhmut, which is kind of against the logic of what the Wagner wants. But maybe this is also to tie down, to distract the Ukrainians from doing their own counter-offensive. That is also possible. So anyway, this is the quick update over at the Bakhmut front. And this is now on the DPA War channel. So if you are watching here, do press the subscribe button, join the DPA army, and do press the like button. Share this with your friends and family. In fact, just spam it on the social media, and I'll see you. And also let me know your feedback about the video, about whether you want to see my face, and I'll see you in the next update.